You ever have that feeling, you know the one. You study for hours, you highlight, you reread, you feel like you've absolutely nailed it. And then tomorrow comes and it's just gone. It's so frustrating, right? It makes you feel like you just have a bad memory. But what if I told you that's not the problem at all?
Yeah, look at that number. It's a bit of a shocker. The science shows that we lose nearly 70% of what we study by the very next day. But listen, this isn't your fault, seriously. It's just how our brains are wired. They're designed to clear out stuff they think is useless. The trick is learning how to tell your brain, hey, this stuff is important, keep it.
And this right here, this is the bad guy in our story. It's called the forgetting curve. It's like the silent destroyer of all your hard work. This curve shows that steep, dramatic drop-off in memory that happens almost immediately. But here's the cool part. What if you could not just flatten this curve, but actually flip it upside down? To see how, let's look at Japan. Students there have to memorize over 2,000 complex kanji characters. And I don't mean just for a test, I mean for life. So how do they do it? Is it some kind of magic? Nope, it's a method. They're not just studying harder, they're studying way, way smarter. So what is their secret? Well, the secret is all about switching from passive to active learning. You see, the stuff most of us were taught to do, like rereading our notes or highlighting half the textbook, it feels productive. But to your brain, it's basically just background noise. Active study is different. It's about retrieving information, about forcing your brain to do the work. It's like the difference between just listening to a song versus actually picking up a guitar and learning to play it. And that brings us to our very first hack, active recall. I love this one. Let's call it the samurai approach to memory. See, most of us focus on getting information in, reading, watching, listening. But the real strength, the real memory muscle, is built by getting information out. And it's so much simpler than you think. You finish a chapter or watch a lesson, then step 1, close the book. Step 2, get a completely blank piece of paper. And step 3, just write down everything you can possibly remember. And look, it's gonna feel hard. You might feel a little frustrated, but that struggle, that's where the magic happens. You're not failing, you're literally building stronger roads in your brain. All right, on to hack number 2, the Kumon method. This is a famous Japanese technique, and it's built on a pretty revolutionary idea. Stop trying to eat the entire elephant in one bite. You know, that whole cramming a textbook overnight thing? It doesn't work. Instead, you break everything down into these tiny, manageable daily steps. It prevents burnout and makes the learning stick. And this idea, well, it connects perfectly to something you might have heard of from the book Atomic Habits. It's this idea that these tiny 1% improvements every day, they don't just add up, they compound, they grow exponentially over time. The Kumon method is just atomic habits for learning. A little bit, every single day, build something massive. Now, these small, consistent actions are key because it's not just what you learn, it's when you review it. And that brings us to our third hack, spaced repetition. I want you to think of your brain like a garden. You wouldn't just dump a month's worth of water on a plant and hope for the best, right? No, you water it right when it's about to get thirsty. Spaced repetition does that exact same thing, but for your memories. You review information at these perfect increasing intervals, just as your brain is about to forget it. And here's a great schedule to start with. Your first review after 24 hours, then again in 72 hours, then a week later, and finally a month later. Every time you do this, you're telling your brain, nope, you're not throwing this out. You're basically locking it into long-term memory. Okay, let's get into our last 2 hacks, because these are all about your mindset. You can have all the best techniques in the world, but it's your approach that makes them work. We're going to talk about 2 Japanese concepts, Kaizen, which is all about continuous improvement, and Su, a state of deep, powerful focus. So first, we have Kaizen. This is this beautiful Japanese principle of just getting a tiny bit better every single day. Instead of that stressful, all-or-nothing, last-minute cram session, you just focus on improving by 1%. That's it. The result? You make incredible progress over time, but without all the stress and the burnout. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds great, but it also sounds like a lot of work, right? This whole system must take hours every day. Well, what if I told you it only takes 6 minutes? No, seriously, just 6 minutes a day. So how does that break down? It's almost ridiculously simple. You spend 2 minutes on active recall, just pulling that info from your brain. Then 2 minutes on spaced repetition, quickly reviewing something you learned last week. And finally, 2 minutes of focus practice on one new tiny concept.
That's it. That is your daily foundation for mastery.
And finally, we have Su, the art of deep focus. This is about using rituals to send a powerful signal to your brain that it's time to learn. This isn't woo-woo stuff, it's pure psychology. You create a dedicated study space, you get rid of all your distractions, maybe you even use the same special pen or light the same candle every time. When you turn learning into a ritual, your brain pays attention and tags that information as important.
Okay, we have covered a lot, but if you remember only one thing, let it be this. Real mastery doesn't come from passively watching something like this. It comes from actively doing. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't learn to play a video game by just watching someone else play, would you? No. You'd pick up the controller, you'd fail a bunch, you learn, and you'd get better. Learning is exactly the same. So here's where you're at. You have a choice. You can click away and go back to that old, frustrating cycle of studying and forgetting, or you can start using these methods today. You know, the top 1% of learners, they won't just see this and think, that's interesting, and then scroll on. They will take action. So the only question that matters right now is, will you? I want you to try just one of these things today, just one. Maybe try that 6-minute plan. Or grab a blank piece of paper after this and see what you remember. Just start small. Because the real secret to remembering everything isn't some special gift. It's about changing your life, one tiny, smart step at a time.